What's cracking, beautiful people? It's Trent J. Baldiff here, and I am happy to be here. It's oddly enough like almost 12:30 at night, and I've just found enough time in my day to actually sit down and make a video for you all. I keep a weird schedule sometimes. It's all good though. Let's hop, skip, and jump into the content, right? Be authentic. It goes hand in hand with being aware, our last episode. There's a few more cool details about being authentic though, and a lot of life experiences that I've had that I can speak on being authentic as best you possibly can. Because in reality, if you're not acting authentically and you're putting up some sort of front for somebody else or something else, it can be very draining on you emotionally and mentally and spiritually, sometimes financially too, and almost always socially. But we will get into that. For now, let's define authenticity. If something is authentic, according to Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I don't know who Merriam is or Webster, but they seem to know a lot about words. Authenticity, to be authentic, either pertains to an item's use and capability that is original to its time, and the fact that it may very well be still getting used today. The other context, which is much more appropriate to this video, authentic, to be true to one's self, personality, and spirit. How beautiful is that? To be authentic is to be true to one's self, personality, and spirit. And in short, that means to me, you're letting your light shine. Your light shine. You know how your thumbprint's different than everybody else's? So is your personality. So are the gifts that you came with. And even if you share a similar gift to somebody else, how you deliver that unto the world is going to be very unique and something special. And in my case, in my life, in particular the past 6 years of my life, I have known within me that the best version of myself is going to be predominantly sober. However, I have gone through many trials and tribulations of substance abuse, whether that be from abusing prescription drugs like Adderall, or alcoholism, or marijuana, and excessive use of cannabis especially. Knowing within myself, within my heart, my mind, and my spirit as a whole, that the best version of myself is going to be predominantly sober, yet continuing to go through the bullshit motions of acting inauthentically and allowing myself to abuse substances. I gotta tell you, my soul has been screaming for years now to be let free, to be brought out into the world so that it can shine its light into this world of darkness. Because there's a whole lot of darkness going on in the world right now. And we, me, my friends, your family, we all deserve to see and be a part of each other's best stuff. Okay? Whatever light it is that you're able to shine in the world, shine it. Not only for your own well-being, but for the well-being of others. And that concept, that idea, ties right into one of my favorite questions that I've ever been asked in my entire life. And that is, who is the most important person in the world? I distinctly remember that day because I was sitting in the back seat of a truck going from one job site to the other. I was about 13 years old, and my boss, who has been a longtime mentor and friend of mine, looked at me in the mirror while I'm sitting there in the back seat, like listing off a bunch of my family members who mean a lot to me and things of that nature. And it makes sense, you know, initially, like mom, dad, my brother, God, these are all the most important people in the world. And scratch that. God is the most important being in the entire universe. And just below that, in this lifetime right now, you are the most important person in the world. No different than I'm the most important person in the world. You have to treat yourself with such an amount of respect, love, and care that you're able to put up boundaries and adhere to them. You are supposed to treat yourself with an amount of love, respect, and care so that you don't just allow yourself to be ravaged by the wolves of the world. If you can't love for yourself and care for yourself, who's going to love and care for you? Nobody. It's on you. It's on your shoulders. There's an inherent responsibility with life. And the responsibilities of life become much, much easier when you live authentically, when you are true to your spirit, your personality, or yourself. You're not allowing your energy to be sapped from external beings or entities because you're trying to impress them or be a part of that group. When you act authentically, you attract your tribe to you. Maybe you even attract yourself to that tribe. Definitely both. But as you grow into your own shoes, and this has been my case thus far, when you grow into your own shoes, as you continue to toil along that path, you begin to find purpose as well. So it's not only important to live authentically so that you live a more happy and well-rounded life, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, financially, spiritually, you name it. It begins to become a purpose-driven life where you are more or less selflessly serving. And that's why I love beekeeping. That is like the number one thing that I love about beekeeping, is because those bees are willing to go out and do the hard work selflessly. Because while they're going out and foraging flowers, and it's hot out and they're flying miles on end, they're not only providing themselves with resources to be able to survive, but they're bringing back what they can to contribute to the whole of the entire colony. That concept right there, I think, is a perfect representation of what society has the potential to be. And you can only reach your potential if you live authentically. In my life, I have acted inauthentically, spiritually, mentally, socially, financially. All of these ullies of that are according to my psychology and self. I have acted inauthentically in ways that I'm not necessarily embarrassed to talk about. However, at the same time, it's more important to note that I would rather shed light on the idea that I am much more happy. I am much happier now in my life than I ever have been in mine before. Why is that? It's because I started to act authentically. I started to act from the heart. I started to act from straight out love. Giving of myself. But also knowing when to say no. Also knowing when I need rest. Also knowing when something isn't right for me and adhering to that and moving in the correct direction. It takes time and practice to be able to listen to that voice within you, the angel and the devil on your shoulder. You don't want to listen to that devil. You want to listen to the angel. Because the devil just wants you to have fun and go out and have good, sensual fun by fulfilling yourself with external things. But really, the angel on your shoulder knows that internally is where it's at. You will find fulfillment and know what your authentic life looks like, your authentic personality looks like, by listening to that angel. And I'd like to end the video by giving you a few tips as to how you might go about living more authentically. You can look at the world through a lens and see a lot of problems today. What problems do you want to solve? What issues do you want to help bring solution to? Is it world hunger? I know for me, I'm deeply saddened about the idea of poverty and the way that we treat Mother Earth. And that's part of the reason why I chose to be a beekeeper as well, because I know that by being a steward of the pollinators, I am not only helping maintain a healthy ecosystem, but ultimately that is leading to assisting in the production of food as well. And it's a beautiful cycle. So if you are against human trafficking, if you're against drug outlaws, if you are against suppression of femininity or the suppression of people of a certain color, aka racism, by all means, come up with a solution as to how you can alleviate that problem. And the age-old saying, be the good that you wish to see in the world, and most certainly, pun intended, be the good that you wish to see in the world. And if you truly want to emanate that good, if you want to shine that light into this world of darkness, I encourage you to be authentic. Be true to yourself, to your personality. Be true to yourself and your personality. It'll help you lead a purpose-driven life, and it'll lead you to a path where you can selflessly serve. And you must understand, too, that every single day is an opportunity for us to improve upon ourselves. Every single day is an opportunity for us to learn more about how we can live authentically and be that better version of ourselves. I encourage you, don't hesitate. Coming from somebody who hesitated for years now on actually pulling the trigger and moving forward with what I knew what was best for me, I've done nothing but... Actually, I've done a lot. I'm going to scratch that. In the time of me not living fully authentically, I felt like an imposter. I felt as if I wasn't completing my mission and that I would be dying with regrets. And I knew that in the back of my head. And this life is a gift. And to end it with regrets on our deathbed, not worth it. Not worth it at all. What is worth it is going through some of the trials and tribulations that lead to you having an understanding of what your life looks like when you live it authentically. I encourage you, go through some of the hard things, because the hard things typically, almost always, lead to a greater reward, a juicier fruit, if you will. This is also a good time to remind you that the fruits of the flesh, sex, drugs, things that we can experience here that provide us with temporary satisfaction are nothing in comparison to the rewards that the universe will provide us with, not only on this plane, but in our next life as well. You will have a more fruitful life, spiritually speaking, if you live authentically. And that I can say from experience. This is Trent J. Baldiff, signing off, reminding you to be better. Have a good one, folks.